Welcome to the Aboriginal channel. On this episode, I'm going to show an instance of Aboriginal culture replication or a form of transformism. And in doing so, I'm going to read a little bit from the book An Inquiry into the Distinctive Characteristics of the Aboriginal Race of America from 1844. It says the intellectual genius of antiquity justly excites our admiration and homage, but in vain we search its records for the physical traits of some of the most celebrated nations of past time. It is even yet gravely disputed whether the ancient Egyptians belonged to the Caucasian race or to the Negro, and was it not for the light which now dawns upon us from their monuments and their tombs, this question might remain forever undecided. Pause. So right there, he's saying that the ancient Egyptians were Africans. They weren't Caucasians. So when you watch movies like the Gods of Egypt and all the characters are the so-called gods are of a Caucasian stock, you have to dig a little bit deeper into your reaction or how you perceive what it is. And what it is an allegory. Now, it goes on to say the present age, however, is marked by a noble zeal for these inquiries, which are daily making man more conversant with the organic structure, the mental character, and the national affinities of the various and widely scattered tribes of the human family. Now, man with a hue, that's another subject. But it goes on to say, among these, the Aboriginal inhabitants of America claim our special attention. So the Aboriginal inhabitants is neither Egyptian nor Negro, because if it was, he would have said it different right there. So there's a totally different people, but all of this widely scattered tribes of the human family, which share national affinities, mental character, and organic structure. But I pointed all that out to say that the movie Gods of Egypt is an allegory of transformism. So I'm going to give you an example of that by way of monuments. Just as Egypt or the Negroes in Egypt had their tombs and monuments, so did the Aboriginal inhabitants of America. One of the ancestors' monuments are the Olmec colossal stone heads. It says the Olmec colossal heads are stone representations of human heads sculpted from large basalt boulders. They range in height from 1.17 to 3.4 meters. The heads date from at least 900 BC and are a distinctive feature of the Olmec civilization of ancient Mesoamerica. All portray mature individuals with fleshy cheeks, flat noses, and slightly crossed eyes. Their physical characteristics correspond to a type that is still common among the inhabitants of Tabasco and Veracruz. In total, they found about 18 or 19 of these huge heads. And as you can see right here, they tried to take the nose off of this one. But basically, those are ancient monuments. Now, you go over here to Williamsburg, Virginia, and you find 43 presidents' heads. You can see right here, they're about 15 feet high. And this is their replicas. This is transformism. They came over here, took the land and the culture. Now, if you look inside of an example of transformism, you can see that these are the heads of states throughout the time and existence of the United States. And they are represented here as people of importance in United States history. Then when you go back and look at European immigration from the colonial era to the 1920s, it says that absolutely essential to the movement was the existence of masses of Europeans who were unneeded in their homelands. So they went from being unneeded in their homelands to this right here. And then now they treat us like we're unneeded in our own homelands, right? And that, my good people, is a cold example of transformism. On another note, you have to really ask yourself, how do we see these people? How do you see these people? Then ask yourself how these people right here, these Olmecs, are seen by them. It looks to me like those are a lot of different bullet holes inside of this sculpture, which indicates how these sculptures are felt by those who don't possess these features. While these 43 presidents' heads sit abandoned, and the only thing that has harmed them is the weather. Now, I'm not saying they should be harmed because that's very petty, but I just wanted to point out that these sit there in stone cold replication of a culture from the not so distant past. Through the history books, which has all been a lie. So therefore, if it's a lie, then what's the truth? If it's a lie, then what's